Today we've got a simple scene. It's a daylight interior. The only catch is we don't have any house power. But luckily, I have a good surprise for you guys. Today with me, I have a familiar face. Ladies and gentlemen, Brady Bassett.
Hi guys.
How are we doing,
Kevin,
bud?
how are you?
I'm doing really good.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
No power?
We have no house power.
No house power. But we have solutions, right? We have workarounds.
We do have solutions. So sometimes there's no compromises. We loved this location, what it offered. So let's get to work. We got some C-stands to hold. Well, you got some C-stands to hold.
Okay, let's sit here and look pretty.
Let's go.
Get going.
Let's go. This location is so cool. It gave me that vibe of the Banshees of Inisherin, and it has that kind of like rocky inside as we walk back through here. It's a super tight space, so that is super challenging, but it just had that look to it. There's no lights up, but the good thing about this location is that we've got so much window and natural light pushing in. Here is our scene. We got two actors, good buddies, talking about the Great War. We don't necessarily want it to be super bright. We also don't want it to be super dark where it's like way too moody. I think somewhere in between is gonna be good.
We really want to be cautious of saving power how we can, striking it off when we can, and then we've got for power stuff, we've either got little putt-putt generators, or we've got some of the new EcoFlows, which I'm excited to use.
I have a feeling that we're gonna need that EcoFlow because we are rolling audio. That's part of the advantage of the EcoFlows. It can be inside and you can still power everything. If we can move this chest as close out of this frame as possible that way, is that possible? Yeah. So we'll scoot all this over, move this chest all the way over so we get a clear line of sight of that window. This is where we're gonna build our entire lighting scheme from, is this one motivating light.
So as we know, we've got that very narrow window. Don't have a lot to work with. We can't bring stands up here. We kind of rigged up this here with a 1200D. 1200D is just it's gonna be bright enough to get us those hard rays of light, maybe rays through the haze. And then we just threw on the narrow dish just to make it really directional and straight. So what we've got here is a turtle base, which is just a base of one of those turtle base C-stands, and in the bottom of it you actually have a junior pin receiver, so you can just take the fixture and plop it straight in there and it locks in just like it would on the top of a combo stand. And Apple boxes with some sandbags just to keep everything stable and safe. It's going to be a little orange film that we're going to stick in front of this. It's going to warm up and get you that afternoon quality of light. It's nice when there's a curveball thrown at me.
Absolutely.
When it works.
That's going to be motivating the basis for all of our lighting. So instead of using the WAG flag, which takes up a little bit more space, I just had them put up some neg and they just gaffed it to the wall. Makes it really easy. Right now you can already see it's a lot darker in here. We have more control, and control is what we need.
So right now we've got that 1200D behind the quarter CTO, and just giving you an idea of off and on. It's making a difference. Do you want to key from a certain side?
I almost feel like we should bring in a soft source and almost give them a seamless
Just fill.
fill.
We've got the F22 kind of coming from a side, extending that window light over. And we've got it with a little bit of half grid here just to get a little bit of softness to it, but we're still having a relatively small source to get you a little bit more of that hard directional light. We're gonna power it with a V mount. So just throw it in here. This is the whole fixture. If we strike it on, strike in, probably gonna be a little bit hot. We're still on battery power, so it's gonna be smart to save lights. Maybe we'll put this on a Sidus link, so one, we can strike it on and off when we're not using it, and when we're using it, and we can also monitor battery power when we are looking at it in Sidus link. Likely we're gonna be running it, this is at 15%, and it's looking like it'll give us enough. We could probably run this for a good handful of hours and not be too concerned, but just to be safe, why don't we just strike it off?
Look at this EcoFlow. So it's charging our Canon batteries for our BTS cameras. It's charging our EarTech batteries for our headsets. It's charging our Nucleus M batteries. It's charging two V-mount, one quad charger, one dual charger from our DIY case. It's charging our DIT station right now. My anticipation when I heard we had an EcoFlow was, okay, everyone's gonna start charging their phones now. It's gonna be a glorified phone charging station. We sprinkled in a lot of MC Pros, and what that did was give us not only these nice accents and highlights in the background, but it's also giving us some exposure to actually see the rock so that we can actually see the environment and the whole reason why we chose this place with no power in the first place. I've got one behind a lantern with a fire effect. I've got this one behind a lantern with a fire effect. I put two of them in the fireplace, and then I've got one tungsten that's just resting up on this chandelier right here. Putting a little edge light on actor on the right just because he's falling into darkness. And just a subtle tube, just to give him a hint. It's not gonna be super hot, but just to get
To augment that fire.
exactly, yeah, just to round him out, cut him out of the background.
Mark.
Stand by.
Your travels, friend.
Treacherous. I'm a mere shadow of the man that you last beheld,
No, the war took much from us.
and especially all that gold.
Gold. What gold do you speak of?
Flanders Field? Do you really not remember? Flanders, Belgium. How could you forget that?
I assure you I have no memory of it.
Our battalion, in the trenches, the buried relics that I unearthed with my shovel. How could you forget?
I assure you I have no recollection.
No matter. Sergeant took all that gold. You took the gold, didn't you, you sly devil?
By my life, I don't recall.
He just may be your knife.
Got it, we got it, you guys. That's a wrap. Dude, that was awesome. I thought that looked super great. What were your thoughts on it?
For me, I love bouncing light. So bouncing that F-22 off that muslin is always fun. It gave a really cool, because you wanted that like ambient kind of light feeling and not to feel sourcey. So by doing that, it just had a really nice soft look. That was my favorite part.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think my favorite part was just the fact that we didn't have to worry about any of our batteries. Like, I was honestly kind of worried about the power situation. So we have the follow focus, fizz unit. We've got obviously the camera. We've got a few lights. But after, using the generator and then also the EcoFlow, it felt like we had power. I didn't even look at any of our batteries, and we lasted the whole day. And that's just another thing that we don't have to worry about.
Yeah, I thought that we were going to have to be constantly saving lights in between shots, but once we dialed in the F-22, we had it at like 10%, and it said well over 2 hours of battery life the whole time. So I was thinking we were going to run into a lot more issues that we didn't run into. It was kind of a nice little blessing.
Yeah. Special thanks to all of our crew, our BTS team, obviously Brady for helping us out. Before we go, we do have a question from one of you guys.
What is your favorite tool to get an eye light?
Mackenzie, thank you so much for the question. I'd have to say for sure it would be an MC Pro. Now, the MC Pros, which is lighting me right now, which you can probably see an eye light with, is awesome because it's small. You can dim it down so it doesn't really affect your exposure. They're so easy to rig. They're magnetized, they're dimmable. You can change colors, you can match your exposure. MC Pros, check them out. All right, that is it for us today. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you learned something new. I know I had so much fun with our whole crew. Grady,
Sure did as well.
anything you want to add?
It was a great time. I want to thank the crew as well and everybody that was here, because everybody made it super easy. I guess it's possible to shoot with no power.
It's possible to shoot with no power. Follow us right here, and we will see you guys on the next Back to Set.